Hello friends, welcome to second video, that is chapter 2 polynomials. Here in this video we are discussing the important concepts of polynomials and the previous year's questions of polynomial chapter. From now on you will get videos back to back chapter wise. So go with the all 14 videos of 14 chapters. Then last day I'll give you the important tips and techniques to score the maximum marks in math. Now, polynomials chapter, the general form of the polynomial p of x is equal to, of nth degree I am taking, p of x is equal to a0 into x power n plus a1 into x power n minus 1 and so on an into x power 0. This is the polynomial of nth degree. Okay. So here mainly you will get a question related to quadratic polynomial. Definitely there will be a question related to the quadratic polynomial. What is the shape of the quadratic polynomial of graph shape? So the graph of the quadratic polynomial is parabola. Okay, the graph of the quadratic polynomial is parabola. The general form of the quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. Here now you are going with the revision, that's why I am taking the main topics and also I am giving brief explanation, and one or two topics I will completely cover in this video. So the general form of the quadratic polynomial is ax square plus bx plus c. The shape of the graph is parabola. There are three cases for this graph. One is the parabola is open upwards and intersecting the x-axis two different places. So for this we will get two zeros. There are two zeros in this quadratic polynomial. Next, the parabola is intersecting x-axis at one place. Here parabola is intersecting at two different places, that is distinct zeros. Here only one place. So here 1 0 for this, and sometimes parabola will not intersect the x-axis. Here this is 1 0. This is no zeros, means no real number as zeros. So what is the maximum zeros of this polynomial, quadratic polynomial? At most two zeros. Maximum two zeros will get for the quadratic polynomial, because the degree of the polynomial is 2. The number of zeros of polynomial depends on its degree. So based on this, maximum will get two zeros for the quadratic polynomial, but there are three different cases. One is two zeros, 1 0, no zero. Through graph, by seeing this, we can say that how many zeros are there for the given quadratic polynomial. So these three, if you observe these three examples, all the three parabola are open upwards. So here where the parabola is open upwards, x square coefficient is positive. When x square coefficient is positive, the parabola is open upwards, and if parabola is open downwards like this, the x square coefficient is negative. Maximum this concept they are not getting in the exam, but you have to remember that where x square coefficient is negative, the parabola is open downwards. So if you want to find number of zeros to graph, by seeing this we can say that how many times the parabola or any graph is intersecting the x-axis. Based on that we will get number of zeros in the polynomial. After graph concept, you need to focus on how to verify the relationship between zeros and coefficients. So I am taking the concept for quadratic polynomial only, that is ax square plus bx plus c. We know that for quadratic polynomial at most there are two zeros. I am taking one zero is alpha, another zero is beta. Now see the relationship between alpha, beta and abc. So first you need to compare given question with ax square plus bx plus c, or the given question you can convert if it is not in the form of ax square plus bx plus c. Sometimes they will give you non-standard form, that is x square term will be here, constant term, and sometimes x term is given at the end. So first to convert that, first x square term, x term and constant term. After that compare the given polynomial with ax square plus bx plus c and find the a, b, c values. Okay. So first I will write the relationship between the zeros and coefficient. After that I will give you one example. I will explain you how to prove that. Okay. Now sum of zeros alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a, and product of zeros alpha beta is equal to C by A. Now this is the relationship between zeros and coefficients. Now I am taking one example, 4x square plus 4x minus 3. This is the previous year question. So that's why I am explaining the same question to you, so that you will get a clear explanation and a clear idea how to verify, how to find the zeros and verify the relationship. So see, first we need to find the zeros of this polynomial. That means the values of x we need to find. So for that, I think already you know that split in the middle term, or we have several methods. Better you can go with the split in the middle term only. Now first, for that you need to multiply x square coefficient with constant term, that is 4 3s are 12x square, 4x square into minus 3, it is minus 12x square. Take the factors of minus 12x square. The sum of these factors should be the middle term, and product of this is equal to minus 12x square. Now I am taking the factors of 12. 6 2s are 12. We know that 6 2s are 12, and 6 minus 2 is 4. That's why I am taking 6, because we have several factors for 12. 12 1s are 12, we have 2 6s are 12, and 4 3s are 12. But I am taking only 6 2s are, because 6 minus 4 is the middle term. But here middle term we have plus. So when you have middle term is positive, for greater number you can keep positive and smaller number keep negative. We should not take that 6 and 2, both are positive, because 6 plus 2 is 8. At the same time, multiply these two numbers and check whether the product of these two numbers are minus 12x square or not. Plus into minus is minus, 6 to the 12, x into x, x square. We are getting now 4x, we are writing for in place of 4x, 6x minus 2x. Now see here how to factorize this and how to get the zeros of this polynomial. 4x square plus 6x minus 2x minus 3. Now from these two terms you should take common. I think you know how to factorize the number. So 4x square plus 6x, in this both we have 2x common, both are multiples of 2x. Take 2x common, 2x remains plus 3, and after taking something common, so what you will get in this bracket, which should be equal to 2x plus 3. Here we have 2x plus 3, but here we have minus 2x. That's why I am taking minus 1 common, because if you take minus common, you will get plus 2x. Already we have taken minus common, so plus 3. Now if you will observe the both the expressions, here we have in both the expressions 2x plus 3 is common, 2x plus 3. After taking 2x plus 3 common, what remains here? 2x minus 1. Now I am writing directly, because already you know that how to find the x values. Directly you can to get the zeros of this polynomial. Directly 2x plus 3 you can equate to 0. You will get x value as minus 3 by 2, and one more x value is 1 by 2. Minus 1, if you take to right side, it will become plus 1. This 2 will come to the denominator. Now see how to verify the relationship between zeros and coefficients. Now we need to find the values of a, b, c. Compare the given polynomial with ax square plus bx plus c. A is 4, b is also 4, and c is minus 3. I am comparing given polynomial with ax square plus bx plus c. Now these two I am taking it as, one is alpha, that is minus 3 by 2 is alpha, beta is 1 by 2. So alpha is minus 3 by 2, beta is 1 by 2. So here alpha and beta values you can take it as beta and alpha also. See here, you no need to take compulsory alpha is equal to minus 3 by 2. Even you can take 1 by 2 as alpha also. Now first I am verifying the alpha plus beta. We know that alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a. Better don't write alpha plus beta is equal to minus b by a. We will take alpha value, beta value, at last we will get the minus b by a value. What is alpha plus beta here? Minus 3 by 2 plus 1 by 2, which is equal to minus 3 plus 1 by 2. LCM I am taking minus 2 by 2. Minus 2 by 2, which is equal to minus 1. But B and A values are not in terms of 1 or not in terms of 2. This value I am writing it as minus 4 by 4. Because minus 4 by 4 also is equal to minus 1. Why I am writing minus 4 by 4? A and B values are in terms of 4. That's why we are getting now minus 4 by 4 as minus B by A. This is sum of zeros. Next I will find the product of zeros. Product of zeros alpha beta. That means we need to, after this, after writing minus B by A, you can write it. What is b here? Coefficient of x by coefficient of x square, minus of coefficient of x term by coefficient of x square term. Now alpha beta. What is alpha beta here? We are now finding the product of alpha value and beta value. product of the two zeros, that is one is minus 3 by 2, other one is 1 by 2. So you will get minus 3 into 1, 3, 2 into 2, it's 4, minus 3 by 4. What is minus 3 here? Minus 3 is nothing but C by 4 is A. Alpha beta is equal to C by A. What is C here? Constant term by coefficient of x square term. So now we proved alpha plus beta is equal to minus B by A and alpha beta is equal to C by A. This is 3 marks question. So for getting 3 out of 3, first you need to take the quadratic polynomial. Find the two zeros for quadratic polynomial. For this you will get 1.5 mark. And take the sum of zeros and prove it minus B by A. Take the product of zeros and prove it C by A. This is one more concept, important concept in this chapter. So this is also a repeated question. Once you practice this type of questions, already you have these questions in a second exercise. Take the questions and practice. In previous example, when polynomial is given, we found the zeros of the polynomial and verify the relationship. Now, one more concept, when zeros are given, how to find the quadratic polynomial, like vice versa for the previous. Out of these two questions, definitely there will be one question in the exam. Practice both of them. Okay. Now, if alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial, the quadratic polynomial is, I will give you first a formula. After that, instead of taking the zeros of the polynomial and sum of the zeros or product of zeros, I will explain you graph question so that you can cover two different types of questions. Okay. Generally, maximum you will not get a graph question, but even graph question also similar to the normal question. So instead of giving alpha and beta values, I will give you values in the graph. So there is a chance to get a question in MCQs where the graph is given, identify the polynomial. See how to find that. Alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial. When alpha and beta values are given, if you want to find the polynomial k into x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. So here instead of alpha plus beta and alpha beta, in some books or some videos you can get that sum of the zeros into x plus product of the zeros. See why we will take k here. Sometimes there is a chance to get the fraction in this polynomial. To eliminate that fraction value, after taking the common, we will take the k value here. Without k also you can see, we will get the formula that we will use in the quadratic equation. Now coming to the graph, I am giving you graph question. So here it is minus 2, 3. This graph is given in the question. As the graph, it is intersecting the x-axis at minus 2 and 3. Here with this question you can cover how many zeros you will get from this from the graph by seeing this diagram. And second one is how to identify the when zeros are given, how to find the quadratic polynomial, and finding the quadratic polynomial when graph is given. 3 different questions I am covering in the same example. That's why focus more here on this question. So here there are two zeros for this polynomial because the parabola is intersecting x-axis at 2 different places. I am taking one value is alpha, that is minus 2. Second value is beta, that is plus 3. So you will get a doubt. How can you identify minus 2 and 3? They will mention in the question clearly where the parabola intersecting the x-axis. Next, for example, if it is intersecting at minus 1. So if x-axis intersecting minus 1, or later we will discuss that at the end. So first you can go with the polynomial. I will tell you where this parabola intersects the y-axis. Okay. Now first to find the quadratic polynomial, we want sum of the zeros and product of the zeros. What is the sum of zeros here? Alpha plus beta, which is minus 2 plus 3 is equal to 3 minus 2 is 1. Now I will find the product of zeros, that is alpha beta minus 2 into 3, which is equal to minus 6. So I will find, first I am finding the sum of the zeros and product of zeros. In textbook examples, in textbook you have this questions related to when zeros are given, how to find the quadratic polynomial. Only sum of the zeros and product of the zeros are given. Means this alpha plus beta value and alpha beta value is given directly in the textbook. Don't confuse it. Maximum of the students are confusing or writing mistake for like these questions only. First you need to read question carefully. When alpha and beta values are given, then only you should find alpha plus beta value and alpha beta value. Sometimes sum of the zeros and product of the zeros are given. Directly you can take this alpha plus beta as 1 alpha beta as minus 6. Read question carefully. Then after finding the alpha plus beta value, substitute there in the formula x square minus alpha plus beta, that is 1 into x plus alpha beta. Alpha beta value is minus 6 here for us. Now k into x square minus x minus 6. So here we don't have any fraction. You can assume that k is equal to 1. Directly I am writing the required polynomial is x square minus x minus 6. So now this the polynomial for this parabola is x square minus x minus 6. Now coming to the graph. So when the question is given like this, it will polynomial or graph intersects the y-axis at constant term. So definitely it will intersect at minus 6. This parabola intersect the y-axis at minus 6. So from this what we can say, the zeros of the polynomial are where the parabola is intersecting the x-axis or where the graph is intersecting the x-axis, and the constant term is where this graph or parabola is intersecting the y-axis. With this we covered the two important concepts of this polynomial. I'll give you some more tips for this chapter. After that I'll give you the previous year questions of this polynomials chapter. And I will explain you one more important topic, and which is not there in the textbook. So first question, finding the relationship, and second question, finding the quadratic polynomial when zeros are given. These two we have in the textbook, but sometimes there is a chance to ask the question which is not there in the textbook. That is, so maximum of the cases we know how to find, we will get the question where we need to find the zeros of the quadratic polynomial. But some cases, some questions like x square plus 7x plus 4. Here if you take this example, we can't solve this question by using splitting the middle term, because so x square term into 4x square, we take the factors of 4x square, you never get a 7 by taking the factors of 4x square. In this question, in this or this type of questions, they will give you alpha and beta are the zeros of this polynomial. Alpha and beta are the zeros of this polynomial. Find the polynomial. They'll give you. They'll ask the questions like this. First one is 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. I'll explain you now all this how to find it. Second one is this, even they can ask you as alpha inverse plus beta inverse. The second one is alpha by beta, or directly first you can take it alpha square plus beta square. Third one is alpha by beta plus beta by alpha. The fourth one is alpha cube plus beta cube. So here when you know alpha and beta value, directly you can substitute there and you can find it. This is very easy question. But example, like these examples, you can't find the values of alpha and beta. Definitely from this, first you can find the alpha plus beta value. Alpha plus beta is minus b by a, that is minus 7 by 1, it is minus 7. And alpha beta value is c by a, directly I am writing it is 4. So first to find the value of alpha plus beta and alpha beta, then write these in terms of only alpha plus beta and alpha beta. This 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta, we can write it as, take alpha beta common, so alpha plus beta by alpha beta, we can write this one as this and substitute the values here. Next, even this one I am writing as in terms of alpha plus beta and alpha beta. For that I am taking alpha plus beta whole square. We know that alpha plus beta whole square formula, like a plus b whole square, alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta. That you don't have here, that's why I am subtracting that. This is the formula. Now substitute the value of alpha plus beta and alpha beta and simplify it. Next, this one, if you take LCM alpha beta, you will get alpha square plus beta square. Already you found the value of alpha square plus beta square. Now you can substitute here, and denominator you can substitute 4 because alpha beta is 4. Next, last question, this fourth one, alpha cube plus beta cube. Alpha cube plus beta cube also we should write in terms of alpha plus beta and alpha beta. We know that a cube plus b cube formula. And you are writing that a cube plus b cube is nothing but a plus b into a square plus b square minus ab. Now we know alpha plus beta value, that is minus 7. Alpha square plus beta square you will get from this, minus alpha beta is 4. By using these techniques, you can solve the problems. And apart from this, there are two more questions. One is reciprocal. The alpha or 10 of the question, 10 of the polynomial is reciprocal of the another one. When the question is about reciprocal, you can take 10 is alpha, other 0 is 1 by alpha. Next, second one is, so see here, when the question is about reciprocal, you can take only product of zeros, because when you are taking the product of zeros, you will get C by A, right? So here, alpha gets cancelled, you get 1 here. Out of C and A, there is an unknown variable. For finding the unknown variable, they will give the question that is reciprocal. The second question is negative of the another one. 10 is negative of the another one. So you can take 10 as alpha, other 0 is minus alpha. So here for this, you can find the sum of zeros, because alpha minus alpha is 0. So you can take it as minus b by a is equal to 0. These are the maximum repeated questions in this chapter. Along with this, if alpha and beta are the zeros of the polynomial, find the polynomial whose zeros are 2 alpha 2 beta, or 2 alpha plus 3 beta and 3 alpha plus 2 beta. These type of questions they will ask you even in the exam. These are the hard questions once you practice even this, but focus more on the first two topics and this topic. Here, see how to solve it. First, alpha beta are the zeros of the polynomial. Find alpha value, beta value. So these are the zeros of the given polynomial. We need to find the zeros for the required polynomial. For that, you can multiply with 2 first one and multiply with the 2 second one. So you will get 2 zeros. For that, you can find the quadratic polynomial. This is the one example, and one more example whose zeros are 2 alpha plus 3 beta and 3 alpha plus 2 beta. So here in this example, find again alpha and beta values and substitute here. You will get 2 values. For that, you need to find the quadratic polynomial. So these are the important questions, and maximum these questions only will get in the exam. And one example, one question they are asking for MCQs: x square plus 99x plus 126. What are the zeros of this polynomial? If you want to find the zeros of this polynomial, if this is positive and this is also positive, both the values will be negative. Remember this. Both the values are negative. This is also hard question. If this number, coefficient is negative, both will be positive. So if x coefficient is negative, both will be positive, because minus term, if you take to right side, will be positive. And when a constant term coefficient is negative, you will get one is positive, one is negative, whatever the middle term. So this example also you can check. So these only will get maximum in the exam. I'll explain you now the video in this next continuation for this video. I'll post you the questions of the previous years, that is March 24 board exam and March 23 board exam. Once see that whether we covered all the topics or not. Definitely you will get only from these concepts in your exam also, 25 March also. So try to score maximum marks from this chapter. First chapter and second chapter, almost you are going to get 10 marks. Try to score 10 marks from these two chapters. Thank you. These are the questions of polynomial chapter from 23-24. First I am taking March 23 question paper. If first question, if one of the zero of the polynomial is twice the another, find the value of k. You can take one is alpha, other one is 2 alpha, twice the other. So 2 alpha you can take and solve, you will get the question. And the second one, alpha plus beta is equal to, alpha beta is equal to 10 is given. Same concept you can use, alpha plus beta equal to minus b by a. So here a is a and b is minus 5 and c. You will get answer D. A is equal to 1 by 2 and c is equal to 5. Next third question, x square minus alpha plus x square minus ax minus b is given. So you need to find the value of alpha square plus beta square. Already I given formula for alpha square plus beta square, that is alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta. Here if you substitute the values of alpha plus beta and alpha beta, you will get a square plus 2b, option B. And the fourth one, assertion and reasoning, the polynomial x square plus 3x plus 3 has 2 zeros. So for this you can use the discriminant concept which you have already learned in the fourth chapter, that is b square minus 4ac. You will find the b square minus 4ac, you will get negative value. So it does not have any real zeros. So that assertion is false and the reason is true. So in March 23, you got 4 marks from this chapter, and March 24 also 4 marks, 1 MCQ and 1 3 marks question. First MCQ, a quadratic polynomial whose zeros are 2 plus root 5 and sum of the zeros is given as 4. So one is alpha, other one is beta. Alpha plus beta is equal to 2 plus root 5 is given. So beta value you will get 2 minus root 5. So if you are substituting the formula alpha plus beta and alpha beta, you will get x square minus 4x minus 1 as the answer. So option B. Second question already I explained in the video. In the same way you can do the OR option also. Thank you for watching this video.